Good morning, friends. On the behalf of Jagdamba Education Society, SND Polytechnic Yavla, Department of Mechanical Engineering, today we are going to attend first lecture on the subject Strength of Material, having subject code 22360, unit number 1, Simple Stress and Strain. Dear students, each and every subject has some its importance in diploma, same as our subject saw. Here, strength of material, it is a core technology which aims at enabling the students to understand and analyze various types of loads and stresses and strains along the main causes of change in physical properties and failure of machine parts. As students, you know, each machine in our mechanical engineering, when it is in working condition, each element or each part is subjected to some kind of forces. And when forces act on these parts, that part may undergo failure or it may be wear. So for this purpose, one should know what is the strength of my material which I am using for that application. Course outcomes. Students, after studying this whole subject, what we should come to know that we must be able to find the moment of inertia of both symmetric and asymmetric structural sections. Also, one must able to find simple stresses in machine components. He must be able to evaluate mechanical properties according to Indian standards. Also, compute shear force and bending moment, stresses in shaft under twisting, and estimate the stresses in short member subjected to eccentric loading. So, examination scheme, dear students, for this subject, we are having end semester exam of 70 marks and 30 marks for progressive assessment. Out of these 30 marks, your 20 marks is for unit test and 10 marks is for micro project, total 100 marks. And in practical section, it is divided into two, 25 marks, 25 marks. 25 marks goes to end semester exam and 25 marks goes to your manual. Near about this subject is for 150 marks. So these are the chapters in our syllabus. First chapter, moment of inertia, which has the weightage of 6 marks. Second chapter, simple stress and strains, weightage 10 marks. Third chapter, mechanical properties and elastic constants of metal, 8 marks. Shear force, bending moment and shear stress, bending stresses for 28 marks. Torsion, 8 marks, and direct and bending stresses, 10 marks. So, we will start with our first chapter. You can see these are the contents of our first chapter, simple stresses and strains. We will see this one by one. Firstly, introduction. As I have told you earlier, our machine undergoes various types of load, and due to this load, that machine parts gets wear. So one should must be find the strength of material. So also the strength of material is the core subject of mechanical engineering. Okay. So starting with equilibrium. Firstly, we will see the definition of equilibrium. When the system of forces acting on the body at rest, then it is said to be in equilibrium. In equilibrium, resultant is always zero, and even though the body is at rest, it is acted upon by the system of forces. For example, the book kept on the table. When book is kept on the table, it is in rest position. But though it is in rest position, it is acted upon two types of forces. One is the self weight of the book, and second one is the upward vertical force applied by the table. Next, types of body. There are three types of body: elastic body, plastic body, and rigid body. What is elastic body? When the body can regain its original shape and size Even after the removal of external load, then that body is said to be elastic body. Its example is rubber. As you know, when force is applied on the rubber, the size and shape of the rubber gets changes. But when force is removed, rubber again regain its original shape and size. It means that the rubber is elastic body. Second one, plastic body. What is plastic body? When the body gets permanently deformed, it means it cannot regain its original shape and size even after the removal of load. For this example, I will give a plastic bag. As you know, when we pull plastic bag on both the sides and we remove that force, plastic bag cannot regain its original shape and size. It means that the plastic bag is the plastic body. And third one, the rigid body. What is rigid body? It never undergoes any deformation in it. It means that it cannot change its shape and size. Example for rigid body is the stone. Next, types of load. Dear students, there are three main types of load. First one, direct load or axial load. This again divided into two subtypes, tensile force or tensile load, compressive force or compressive load. Second one, eccentric load, and third one, shear force or shear load. Now we will see one by one. Firstly, direct load or axial load. When the load whose line of action coincides with the axis of body, then it is called as direct load or axial load. Two types, tensile load and compressive load. Mainly, you keep in mind that whenever we are applying the tensile load, it means that we are applying the pulling force, and in case of compressive force or compressive load, we are applying the pushing force. I will tell this in diagram also. Second one, eccentric load. Eccentric load. Now direct load, indirect load, what we have seen, the forces are applied above the axis, but in eccentric load, load is applied away from the axis. Such kind of load is called as eccentric load. And third one is the shear force or shear load. In shear load, we are applying the forces on the body in from both the sides in opposite direction. That opposite direction forces, we say it as compressive forces, and due to which the body gets sheared off, then that type of load is called as shear forces. You can see in this diagram, first condition is for unloaded. In second condition, we have applied tensile load. In third position, we have applied the compressive load. In fourth, we have applied the bending load, due to which the object gets bent. Fifth one is the shear load. Here you can see that we have applied two forces in opposite direction. It means it is compressive force, and due to which it gets sheared off from its original position. That type of load is called as shear load. And you can see to the right side in blue color that what is eccentric load. In first diagram, C-shaped diagram, you can see that the load is acted on the central axis, and in second diagram, the eccentric load is acted far away from the central axis. So that kind of load is called as eccentric load or eccentric force. Okay. Next one, stress or axial stress. Dear students, for generating the stress, you must be applied it by the forces. Until and unless you are applying the force, you cannot get the stress value in it. Okay. Now before moving toward the stress, we will see about the resistance. Now when the body of elastic material is acted upon by an axial force, then the body undergoes some deformation. Then the force of resistance offered by the body against deformation is called as resistance or resisting body. For example, you are standing at one position. I am applying the force. In first position, I am applying little force. you are not able to leave your position. But what happens when I added the forces morely, then you get shifted from your original position. At first condition you are not able to move from your position. Why? Because you were offering to me the resistance. Same resistance is considered here also, and that resistance is called as resisting force. Now we will see the stress. Stress is denoted by sigma. Okay. Now when a system of forces act on body, the internal forces are set up in body at various sections to resist the forces which act on the body. In short, the internal resisting forces per unit area is known as stress. This is the simple definition. Now mathematically how we can represent the stress? So stress is nothing but force upon area. Which area? So cross sectional area. And what is the unit of stress? Newton per mm square. And also keep in mind 1 Newton per mm square is equal to 1 megapascal. You can see in this diagram, F is the force, tensile force applied on the body. What happens after applying the force? That small red color arrows, what it shows? Internal resisting force. It shows internal resisting force. Okay. So this is all about the first lecture. Thank you.